Hi, I'm Kathy Domke, Associate Superintendent of Education for the BC Conference. Today we have a special video for you, the story of Linda King and how following God's will, using the gifts and talents that He has given her, has been a blessing to both her and her students. As you listen to her story, may you hear and feel the joy of being a teacher in our system and how it has impacted her life specifically.
So it's my privilege to be here with Mrs. Linda King. You know, for those of you who don't know, we were high school classmates. Well, she was ahead of me a year, and I'm sure I drove her crazy being the younger class. But when I came back to Canada and you were teaching at this school, it's kind of cool because I never did get to come back and teach at the school that I went to, and it was just nice. And I know that you were interim principal for a year, and so I know that you have a lot of love and passion for this school. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get some input of you and tell us from you about your journey and through education and what brought you back to Fraser Valley and why did you pick teaching as a profession?
Teaching was always one of my goals. I fought it a while when I was in high school. I said, well, maybe it's just because I have so many teachers in the family that's familiar to me. So I did a bunch of testing. The results were either English teacher or elementary teacher. I've been both. You know the old saying, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And
amen.
It's really true because I come to school every day and I do what I love and I just get to connect with people and enjoy my experience here, and I've never regretted it at all. Teaching was what I was born to do. And I think when God gives you gifts, I think it runs in my family that God gave us certain gifts. They're genetic, and when God gives you a gift, you use it, and you use it to glorify Him wherever He plants you. And so I said, okay, God, that's what you want me to do.
Amen. No, I love that. Give us a few things that you feel are the most rewarding part of being a teacher.
I always tell my students that life is all about relationships. I mean relationships with people, but of course even more so relationships with God. Mm-hmm. And loving people, connecting with people, sharing our experience with God is really the most rewarding thing in life. It's the only thing worth striving toward. That's what I get to do every day. This is a family. And I've been in several different schools, and it was always the case, even in my one-room school. My church family, my school family, we belong to each other. We're building relationships day by day. That connection that you get to have as part of an Adventist Christian family in the school is like nothing else.
Amen. What I love about talking with you, Linda, is I just hear passion. With that passion, and obviously it's something that you love doing, if there's some words of advice that you could give to some of our young people who may be watching this, who are thinking about a path that they would like their life to go, give me some good advice to these young people out there that would allow them to think about, hey, I want to do something like what Mrs. King is doing and feel passion like you do.
Well, I think God puts the passion in your heart, and if you're open to Him and His direction, He'll take you where He wants you to go. And if teaching is that, then be open and listen to God. Coming back here was a blessing for me because I began to get to teach the children of some of my former classmates and make those connections. And some of my students, one of my grade 12 class presidents that I got to work with a few years back, went off to university planning to go into biology, and within a few months she said, I have to be an English teacher. And she came back and taught in this very classroom last year, and I got to be her administrator and watch her teach English after I had taught English to her.
Thank you so much for your time. I just love talking to you because your passion it really rejuvenates me. And just keep doing up the great work that you're doing with mentoring our kids and leading them to not just be prepared for this life, but the life after. And so thank you so much for everything you do.
It's a joy and a pleasure. My students share with me as much or more than I share with them every day.
Great.
And I'm a lifelong learner because I get to learn with my students every day.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in listening to Linda's story about how passion and joy has filled her life as she has used the talents and gifts that God has blessed her with. As you heard her say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. This is our prayer for you, that you will experience the joy of the Lord, the blessings of using the gifts He has given to you specifically. May God fill your heart with joy each day as you serve Him wherever you are.